All right, welcome to the Oh Yes podcast. Today we have entrepreneur, connoisseur, just all around great looking abs of steel guy, Matt Cutshall.
My man, my man, here I am. What's up, YouTube? What's good?
He's just pointing at a camera right now.
Follow me right here. Put something down here,
Yeah, we're
okay?
gonna-
Put it right there.
I don't know how to do that.
You don't know how to do that?
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, we got a guy.
Dave knows.
We
Yeah, we
got-
got. We
get
have
a guy
a
to put
we
my
have a
name
link
down
guy.
here.
We have
We're
a
gonna
guy for
send it
pretty
in.
much everything.
How you doing, man?
Oh, dude, I'm good, man.
How's your day been?
My day's been great.
It's hot out there. It's nice.
It's finally hot.
Yeah, I just got back from China. We just got back from China, so I don't. Was it cold?
It's been it's been raining like crazy. Like it's been flooding literally.
Okay.
It's been flooding all around LA because we just can't handle this rain. In the last 30 days, I think it rained like 20 times, which is pretty nuts for LA.
Well, dude, it went for like 2 years and not a drop of rain, and we're in the most serious drought. All of a sudden, like we have too much rain, like
For real.
too much water is coming through.
And what's weird is they haven't figured out how to capture this water yet, because next year they're going to call it a drought again.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, we're in another drought. And it's like, well, what happened to all that rain that just fell?
We need to bottle it up and we need to
was-
save it.
That was pure. Like, anyway, we got to get on that.
Speaking of, you're from Portland, Rain.
From Portland.
So
Oregon.
you guys know how to capture rain.
Oh, we know exactly how to do
Yeah,
it.
if it rains, you guys are good.
Dude, the Pacific Northwest is like the safest place to live in the world, because when the rest of the world's in a drought, you got rivers, I'm talking rivers. I'm talking lakes.
I'm talking lakes. Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm talking shrimp. I'm talking steak. Wow. You guys have no idea what we're talking about.
That was a rap song that I made back in the day. Me and Matt have known each other for like, I don't know, like 15 years. So it's going to be
it's been a while.
It's going to be good.
But anyway, Portland is so green and lush, and there's nonstop hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
And like, I know that it's safe there. I actually bought a house there last year. So I feel like if shit goes down, I can just go to my place and
You'd be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
you'd be good.
Is that where you're going to end up? Is that end goal, Portland?
To be honest, the end goal is Portland in summer, and where I live now in Pasadena during the winter.
Because it's cold during the winter.
I wanted to kind of chase the weather.
Yeah.
And
you guys are similar.
like
You're
that.
from Denver, so I feel like it's a
Denver.
similar vibe.
I mean, we don't have as many lakes, rivers, you know what I mean? We do have a lot,
Shrimp
but not
steak.
as many, you know what I mean? But it's it's the same. It's green, mountainy, fresh. There's something about Denver or even Portland, like when you land, you just feel like you
can
smell
breathe.
the air.
You can
it just
breathe.
smells like
Yeah.
a fresh, like a fresh, clean laundry or something.
I will say, though,
Denver's
we were-
4 seasons.
we
Right?
were-
It's pretty 4
Dude,
seasons.
yeah, it's crazy. Right now, it's brutal cold. Like
we
they're
were
having
just
the
in
worst
Beijing,
winter.
and you don't appreciate clean air until you've gone there,
Oh,
because
God.
I mean, we were outside for 10 minutes and I was like, I either need an oxygen mask or I need to go inside. It literally says on your phone, do not go outside. It's dangerous.
Is that why they're wearing all
They wear the masks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No
If
shit.
you look
Okay.
up the weather, it literally says
Like
like
horrible air
unsafe to
quality.
go outside. Don't go outside.
No shit.
Yeah. It's so.
You know that the first time LA has had that for a while was during that last big fire. It
Oh,
was,
yeah, the one in
It was
Agora.
so bad outside.
Yeah.
It was gray everywhere. It looked like an actual cloud, and it was like quality level 2, or like, I don't know, level 2 or level 1. It was nuts.
Air, dude, it's
Horrible.
crazy.
So is
But
it the lower the
but-
level, the higher the risk?
It's air quality 10 means probably the best.
Okay.
I think.
Higher
Or-
quality, better. I don't know.
I think it's one or the other, but we have these Dyson machines in our house that purify the air, and when it was super bad out, we would turn it on, and it would literally just say horrible air, like red
Oh,
air
wow.
quality. You turn them on for a couple hours, they actually purify the air.
I want to get.
Don't know how it
Where
works,
do I
but they're
get that?
amazing.
At Dyson?
Dyson.com.
This is brought to you by Dyson.
Which is this is a perfect segue.
Could you imagine I come on here to do brand deals?
Yeah.
You guys are like, wait, he keeps talking about Dyson.
You're just looking at a list. You're like, so by Dyson. So you do brand deals. That
I
is something
do.
you do. You are a influencer,
Yes, that's
which
what they call me.
is I need to know.
Yeah.
I know, but nobody else knows how you go from regular great guy in Portland to just to influencer with companies like Dyson.
Okay.
How does it? What's the short version of how you got from Portland to here and to where you are?
My Cliff Note story. I used to work at Nordstrom in Portland, Oregon. I was slinging jeans, slinging T-shirts, and I knew I wanted to be in Hollywood. I at first wanted to be a live and radio host, and I had got some experience working for Radio Disney in Portland. So I, no joke, one day, he's like, you know what? If I'm not going to do this right now, I'm not going to ever do it.
Yeah,
and
you gotta-
I wrote a note that said, "This is my 2 weeks," and I put it on the register. And then my manager.
Wait, is that all it said?
This is my 2 weeks, Matt.
Oh.
I swear to God.
That's the best way to quit I've ever heard.
No, the reason why I did that is I had a conversation with my manager first, and I was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna move to LA like in a couple weeks," and she like laughed and like thought I was just joking because no one just does that randomly.
Right.
And she said, well, and she laughed, and I was like, okay. And I asked her again. I was like, hey, I'm seriously going to leave. And she like kept blowing me off. And I'm like, doesn't she understand I'm serious? I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to write a note. So I just put, this is my 2 weeks. And I had it in writing, put it on there. And then she took it and she seriously asked me about it. She goes, is this serious or are you joking? Because I was kind of
like, it's not even a funny joke. Why would I be joking about that?
Yeah. And I said, no, I'm dead serious. So I put in my 2 weeks and I planned in that 2 weeks on how to get to LA. My buddy who lived in LA flew down, helped me. I packed up a U-Haul with like a couple couches and some boxes of my shit and put remember my old Mercedes that I had?
Yep.
I put my old Mercedes on the back of a trailer and I just got to LA. In LA, it was now like, what's next? Like, what's my next step? So I worked regular jobs. I worked for the Nordstrom at the Grove. And then I knew I wanted to, my interest kind of turned into more of music. I loved working for Radio Disney and I loved, emerging artists and that kind of shit. So I obviously started It Boys, which is how we met.
That is how we met.
And
infamous It Boys. Dude.
And then,
that's actually how we all met.
No, I was going to say this amazing band that we begged to go on tour, Breathe Carolina.
Yes.
Took us on tour.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
And so anyway, started my music career. We toured for 4 years. By the way, some of the best times of my life. Like,
he has to say that because I'm standing here. When I'm not around, he's like,
we actually paid him to say that.
It's on Spotify right now.
No, but like as much as the grind was real and we definitely struggled our fair share, that was so fun.
Oh, it was good.
Like, it was
good.
fun to just kind of like, how are we going to, what's our next move? Who do we get on tour with next? How do we grow our audience?
There was something fun about, and I know Dave did this at first too. Obviously, when I joined Breathe, it was already successful, but there was something fun about not knowing how you're getting to the next show. You're like, we got $50 and 400 miles. I don't know how we're going to do it, but let's just figure it out, you know?
I specifically remember I called random friends. I called my brother. I called my dad. I'd call anyone to get a few $100s.
Oh, yeah.
And at one point, I was like, we'd all be like, I think one time Judah asked his dad, and his dad was like, nope.
No, his dad wouldn't do it. Yeah. Nope. No.
You gotta learn your lesson.
His dad was always the no man.
Like,
but
we're stuck in Texas. Well, I
don't know what to tell you.
You got yourself there, man.
You got yourself there. You can get yourself out. It's like, okay. And I think Judah's dad makes more money than everybody's dad, but he just refuses to spend $1.
To spend $1. But I remember asking, I asked my friend Sophia for $400 back then. And I told her back then, when we go to the Grammys, you will be my +1. That was like, right?
Well, you still owe her that.
No, I owe her that. So I went to the Grammys just randomly, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And I sat in the 10th row and it was awesome. And she saw that on my story. She goes, yo,
what the fuck?
You said I was your +1. I was like, okay, that was if I was on stage.
Yeah, you're
if
like,
I was nominated.
I can't explain to my girl that I got to bring this other girl. It's like, it's going to be a bad look for me.
Exactly.
That would be a really funny, I'm sorry, Ariel, I cannot take you. I promised this girl 10 years ago that I was going to take her to the Grammys.
Oh my God. But it's fun because the shit that I wanted to do back then, like go to the Grammys, I now get invited because of something completely different.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is nuts because obviously I wanted to be exposed to the world and become like a celebrity through music. And it just so happened that it was social media.
Yeah.
Which I guess to kind of wrap up the story, how I got to LA and where I am now. After It Boys, after our crash and burn, after the It Boys crash and burn, you guys, I don't know if you know the whole story, but it was not our problem. We had multiple offers from big labels.
Yeah, it was our label's deal. They wouldn't let us go.
Our label would not let us sign to these bigger labels that they had promised to when we first signed with them. And we were begging. We're like, dude, one of the deals is like a $600,000 deal.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal.
They wouldn't let us go. Yeah.
They wouldn't let us sign. So, we just kind of had to break up the band and
beware of record deals.
Beware of, I don't know what record deal you guys are in now, but
no, our deal's great. We're good now.
I know it is.
Yeah, we're good.
You're like,
You're good.
probably such a hard ass. They were like, geez.
Oh no, we're happy as can be. We're great. We're very good.
Okay, good.
So then the band ends, right? I had like a 3-week crisis because then Dave just took me to lunch and game over. So I was good to go. But you had to have a moment where you're like, all right, what's next?
Yeah. Well, I guess my what's next moment was, okay, well, I got to make some money. And I knew that we obviously had like a little bit of an investment from my cousin,
right?
That $30,000 to kind of get through for like another year, which is great. John, I love you. Thank you.
You never got it back.
You'll never see it again. But
I'm gonna call that a donation.
Yeah, that was just a donation. That was actually a tax write-off for him.
It was a donation.
Yeah. But anyway, I remember I was like, you know what? I got to get a job somewhere. So I went and got a job at a restaurant. I worked there for probably 2.5, 3 years. And I knew that while I was going to work at that restaurant, I was going to just kind of figure out my life. Like, what's going to be next? Am I going to audition for TV shows? Am I going to go out for radio still? And to be honest, I was confused. I was kind of shocked. I didn't know what to do. Where I worked was Sir Restaurant. There's a show called Vanderpump Rules.
Yep, my girl loves that show.
Oh, she does. Okay.
I'm not gonna say I don't love it also.
Yeah,
dude. He's like, my girl loves that show as well as me.
Yeah, as well as that show.
She doesn't even watch it.
Yeah.
My girl.
She's never heard of it.
She calls in right now. She's like, I don't fucking watch that show.
Yeah.
You watch that show.
But so yeah, I worked at Sir Restaurant before the show, and I worked there for probably a year and a half until they decided to make the show, and it was crazy there. I remember people would show up drunk, they'd show up and get hammered, and the bartender was hooking up with this server, and this server was banging that busboy, and it was so wild. And I would see this, and I was like, dude, this is a reality show. I remember thinking that before they made it a show.
Yeah.
And then and it's
all good-looking people that work there.
Dude, Sir, SUR means sexy, unique restaurant.
Yeah, they only hire good-looking people.
They only hire sexy people to work there. And it started off with only sexy girls. And then me and this guy Josh were the first two guys. We made the cut.
Oh my God.
He's like, lift up your shirt. And I lifted up my shirt, and I had 6 abs. So
you're good. You need a minimum 6 abs.
That was the only requirement that I needed.
6 abs. 8-pack is a bonus. I had the 6.
Yeah, you get more money if you have 8.
So I started working at Sir Restaurant, and then so since you guys watch the show, Lisa Vanderpump, obviously the show is based around kind of her bringing up all these kids. She came in as she was just always dine at the restaurant, and she would kind of sit down and be a spectator, and it was like, holy shit, this restaurant's crazy. I see what's going on here. That guy's arguing with her. I see that girl getting drunk by the bar.
Yeah.
This girl, Kristen, would always get hammered and emotional and kind of storm out. And she really just kind of saw this vision of there needs to be a show here.
Yeah.
So they started doing auditions, and I guess it'd be auditions. They'd kind of sit people on a couch and interview them. And
that already worked there?
That already worked there. It was only people that already worked there.
This show was not cast. It was actually people that worked there. It was not cast.
It was only cast from people that worked there.
Wow.
But all these people that worked there were legit struggling actors.
Yeah.
They all wanted to be actors, so they were decent.
This is amazing. This is an amazing opportunity for them.
So it was huge. And I think Lisa's super smart, and she knew that. She was probably like, oh my God, there's already a handful of actors. This is
She's
great.
like, I can get these people for dirt cheap because they all want to be actors.
Dude, no joke. I think people got paid $5,000 each for the season.
Oh yeah, no, I heard when The Hills started, they were getting $100 an episode on The Hills when it first started. Yeah,
bad. Maybe even less. $5,000 for a season means you go and you film for 3 months straight, and all you get is $5,000 for 3 months to be on TV. Yeah. Obviously they get paid now.
Yeah, of course.
They're all famous.
It's still on.
It's still on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Season 7's coming up.
I'm watching.
So wait, do these people now that are
Yeah.
famous have to still work at this restaurant?
By contract, they have to go back and work I don't know,
minimum days.
once every 2 weeks. And it's more to bring people in and be like, oh, Tom's bartending. Jax is here.
That's got to kind of suck a little bit. You're like, I'm famous. I have to go work at this restaurant.
But it's bare minimum.
Yeah.
They go back there. He'll make some special drinks, hand out some shots, and they'll film while they're there. So it works for the TV show. So anyway, they did auditions, and I was asked to audition, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to be on a reality TV show about serving at a restaurant, but I'll sit down and see what it's about. So I sat down, did the audition. They actually did end up offering me the part, or whatever that role would be.
Of course they did.
Other guy with abs. So I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? If this show does go anywhere, I don't want to be the guy known for being a server on a TV show. Yeah. It's not my thing.
That's not what you wanted. Yeah.
I've done radio hosting. I've done live hosting. I toured in a band. I had other talents that I kind of wish, would have kind of gotten me to. Yeah, exactly. So I said no, and they asked, and then they shot for a season. They asked me again for second season. I said no. It was definitely a hit. And then by the third season, Lisa was actually pretty pissed, and she actually called me over to the table that she was sitting at when I was working, and she's like, Matt, why the fuck won't you do my show? So I was like, I appreciate the opportunity. It's just not my thing. And she's like, I hope you know you're making the biggest mistake of your life. And she turned from me, and that's the last time I talked to her. And that was true story.
Oh man. Oh,
she
man.
was mad because everyone else was like, hell yeah, like an opportunity. And obviously it was opportunity. Like they all got great opportunity. But even to this day, I would hate to just be the dude I would be drunk right now, probably throwing a bottle at someone.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know that's not really me. Like I'm not dramatic enough for this show.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, you know what? There's something bigger and greater for me. And while that show was being filmed, is when Vine came out.
Oh wow!
And I don't know if you guys had Vine.
Yeah, I did. I never used it too much, but I had it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I had one.
Yeah. And then obviously it was a massive hit for like that market. And I got on Vine and I just started like filming myself at the restaurant. No followers. I literally started with 0 and no followers. I would just film myself in a restaurant, like bullshitting with like the bussers or like whatever. And people started watching my shit. And I remember I had like one video had like I don't know 2,500 views, and I'm like, who are these people like watching me like mess around in a restaurant? It's pretty weird. So then it went from like 2,500 views to 2,500 followers, and then I got to 10,000 followers, and I was like, this is like that's pretty significant for like from 0 to 10,000.
100 for like. There wasn't like you were putting out music. It was just people were just watching you do stuff on Vine.
People just found me.
Like 7-second videos?
Yeah, like
organic.
Yeah,
dude.
Very
organic.
Very organic. Like one person would be like, "Oh, this dude's funny in the kitchen doing this. I'll re-Vine it," and then his 20 friends would see it, and then one of them would pick it up. So like Vine was the best app to go viral because re-Vine here, and here. It just spreads like
you can't even do that on Instagram. You can't like. I mean, you can like get an app that'll repost it, but it's not the same.
I wish that Instagram had reposts a lot easier because that would blow people up.
Yeah.
It really would. So then I remember having 10,000 followers and kind of freaking out. And then it just honestly just took off from there. I started doing, when I wasn't working at the restaurant, I would do videos with my girlfriend in my car her car during like the 2 hours I had before I had to go to work. And those videos got really popular. Like the restaurant ones were just me, people being like, oh, this guy's funny. Like I'll follow him. Me and my girlfriend, we're just shooting videos of us doing dumb shit in the car, singing in the car. Which you guys still do now. Which we still do.
Yeah, you still do them.
And that is what really blew us up on Vine. People loved our guy-girl humor. And that's when we found our niche. We were like, oh shit, people are loving like our car videos. And so now fast forward 5 years later, I got to 2 million followers on Vine. When Vine started kind of dying out, I moved my audience to Instagram, which is now, what I'm doing full time. And yeah, dude. So I built a very loyal audience, people who love my brand for being fun and positive, and they love watching me and Ariel. But so that's kind of like the long story short. It went from working at a restaurant to Vine, kind of blew up on Vine.
Well, I think it's so cool because your story is so like organic. Do you know what I mean? And like I follow you and I watch all your stuff, and it's like, when we haven't seen each other in a long time, but I remember like how we were like back then. I was like, this is just like so Matt, like it's just so you, and it's like really heartfelt, and I think that's why you're so successful at it. You know what I mean?
You're
Obviously,
literally
like
still you're pretty much still doing the shit we were doing on tour. You're just like the jokes are the pupanjaskin. The random jokes are still the same jokes we were making. You're just filming yourself doing them.
Yes, exactly.
That's it. It's funny. Like you're still making the car videos. The car just got nicer.
That's it. I'm still making the same videos. It was a beat down Prius before.
Yes.
Now it's like
I remember when you got the gold Prius. You went to Denver to get it, or to Portland because it was cheaper. Yep. You literally flew there, got this old Prius, drove it down. I'll never forget.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, man.
It's like the main reason I wanted to have you on here is we get so many like DMs from kids that are like, I live in Ohio, I live here. Of course it's easy for this person to make it because they live in LA or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. Anyone can make their dream come true. You just literally have to grind. People don't understand how difficult the grind is.
Yeah.
For an example, and I know how hard you work to get successful because I was obviously in a band with you, and you know how hard it was to get Breathe Carolina off the ground. And even for myself, where I am now, it's work every day. It's not like, oh, I have Saturday and Sunday off to relax by a pool.
Oh, no.
The people who relax by the pool on Saturday and Sunday are the people who go and work 9 to 5 jobs and just take the weekend off. And they don't have the aspiration to get anywhere
100%.
further.
Yeah.
For me, I worked my ass off every single day until I got to a place where I thought I deserved a vacation.
Yeah.
And then I finally was like, oh man, like I hustled hard. I finally have, I was able to save up 10 grand finally. And then actually my first vacation was $5,000. I saved up $5,000, and that took like a couple years to actually save that money. And then I finally took myself on vacation. and I got the taste of like the sweet life of being like, damn, like this is nice. I can actually fly somewhere and lounge by a pool and enjoy this vacation. And then I was kind of like addicted. Then I was like, I'm just going to work as hard as I can and then take a vacation every few
I remember
months.
you took you just went home one time and it wasn't a vacation. You literally wrote us an email. We had done like 200 writing sessions in a row. Yeah. And you wrote me an email and you're like, you're going to this writing session alone. I am having a mental breakdown. I'm going home for 3 days. I'll see you in 3 days. I was just like, that's the level of stress and grind that it takes to like make it. Is crazy. Like
a lot of people don't realize too, is you really have to like to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't dread it, because when you dread your grind, you're not giving it your full 100%. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's
I agree.
People can work miserably all day long and like kind of grind and say they're grinding, but it's like, if you don't love to do it, even if it sucks, you have to love the sucky parts about it. You know what I mean? And that's how
you gotta find that passion that you want to grind for.
Exactly.
So don't get me wrong. I didn't want to work at a restaurant. No. But like you do have to like change your mindset to be like, you know what? I'm going to find the most positive way I can get through my day. I'm going to like enjoy the people. I'm going to enjoy the tables that I wait. And one piece of advice that I always give to my audience when they ask me is always be nice to, always be good to other people that you don't know, because you have no idea when that will come back.
Yeah.
I was nice to every single person that I served. And now that I started getting recognition on social media, some of those people are huge producers, huge actors, huge directors, and I've gotten opportunity from them. Yep. And I've gotten paid thousands of dollars for just being the guy that was nice to them when I worked at that restaurant. People
don't understand how far being nice can just go, simply just being nice. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. And it's really like, I think your story is so interesting because like when I met you and I was like, how did you like get in the circle? Because you like knew certain people and all this stuff. I'm like, how'd you get in the circle? You're like, I literally like Googled where a cool place to go was. And I went there and I like you didn't know anybody. And you just like, were like, I'm going to go meet people that are, and you just went out and you like met people because you knew that you're like, I'm in LA. I need to like, it's who you know. And you like went out and met people. And it's like the biggest thing that we like tell people is like, there's so many kids that are like, I'll never make it because I'm stuck here or there. And it's like, no, you just got to like, obviously there's people have different circumstances, but it's like, you got to just figure it out. Mm-hmm. It's possible to figure it out and you just got to do it.
It's very possible. Okay. So if you live in the middle of nowhere and you want to get out, go and get a job that you probably most likely will hate and hustle and make yourself save money. Sacrifice your time, sacrifice your energy and put it all into work, save that money. And then when you finally reach the goal, I moved to LA with I think like $1,800.
Yeah. That's not even 1 month's rent.
No, it's nothing. But like, if I would have done it a little bit better, I probably would have worked harder to save, I don't know, like maybe $5,000 or so. But like, work your ass off where you're at, save the money, and then move to, you don't have to move to LA, but move to a larger city in that state to find that opportunity.
Right. Exactly.
Move to that larger city, find a better paying job, save up $5,000, $10,000, then move to LA or New York or wherever you want to, where you want to live, and then go and meet people. Like networking is key. I remember knowing nobody in LA, and I Googled, or it was Yahoo back then. I Yahooed.
I Yahooed it.
I Yahooed where like young people hang out. Literally, I was like, I don't know. I'm new to LA. It said the Grove, so I got in my car. I drove to the Grove, and I saw an Abercrombie there. And I was like, oh, there's young people that work at Abercrombie. Like there might be some shirtless dudes to hang with. There might be some hot chicks. I don't know. Let's check it out. So that's why I met one of my first best friends. I walked into Abercrombie. There was a super cute girl who was working there at the time. And we just kind of started talking. She's like, oh, where are you from? I was like, oh, I'm from Oregon. She's like, what are you doing out here? I told her how I used to work for Radio Disney. And she's like, oh, no shit. My song's on Radio Disney. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm an artist. I was like, what's your song? She's like, it's called Unbelievable. And I remember being like, oh shit, like Unbelievable by Casey Brown? She's like, yeah. I was like, you're Casey Brown? She's like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, why are you working here? Because in my mind, she's like this, celebrity.
Right.
Like,
if you don't know, like if like from the outside, you're like, if you see somebody that's like signed and you're like, and somebody that's on tour, you're like, you're fucking rich.
Yeah, you assume they're rich.
Yeah.
So like my 21-year-old brain's like, wait a second, you just toured with like the Backstreet Boys.
Do you own this Abercrombie?
And like, what's going on? But the thing is, you don't get paid until like your second, third, fourth album.
Yeah.
When it takes time. Like one hit on the radio does not get you paid.
Doesn't mean anything.
We all know that.
It really doesn't.
You literally can have a smash song, and unless it's like worldwide the biggest song, and you can tour on that for a while, you don't. You don't
100%.
make any money.
Yeah.
So she kind of explained like, well, I have a song on the radio, but it doesn't make that much money.
Yeah.
She's like, I actually owe my label $1 million.
She's like, I'm actually in debt because they paid for my tour and this and that.
Exactly.
You get in worse debt. So anyway, long story short, we became really close. I actually moved into her place about 2 weeks after I met her.
Oh, wow.
Not like boyfriend, girlfriend, just like she knew I had no place to stay.
You're like, I was homeless.
I was literally homeless, and she let me move into her place. And I drove to her place like 2 weeks after we met. And it's just, I drove to a place in Malibu. That's the address she gave me. I didn't know that Malibu was super nice. Drive to this place, and she, I text her. I'm like, hey, I was like, I think that I'm here, but like, this doesn't seem right. Because it's like
I'm outside of this compound.
Outside of this compound in Malibu. And she like walks out, like holding her dog. She's like, hey, y'all. She was from Nashville, Dallas, Texas. I don't know, something like that.
One of those places.
She was, Southern Belle. Hey, Matt, what's up? And I was like, whose place is this? She goes, oh, this is my, it's my ex-boyfriend's place, but he's totally cool with you staying here. I told him your story. So I go, make myself at home. She takes me down to the guest bedroom. It's literally just her and her dog that lives there. And so she shows me down to my room. I remember like 3 days in, I'm sitting there on the floor. I had my guitar just kind of like hanging out. She was at work. She was working at Abercrombie. And then the door opens and someone who had a key. And I look over and it's AJ from Backstreet Boys.
Oh my God.
And I remember being
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm like, what the fuck? And like, I love Backstreet Boys.
Like, it's finally happening.
It's finally happening. My dreams are being
answered.
I knew this was happening.
There is a God. So AJ from Backstreet Boys walks in and he's like, yo, he goes, are you Matt? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, what's up, Alex? And I'm like, she's been calling him Alex this whole time. And I didn't even think to ask who Alex was or what he does, but that's his real name. Like Alex Gene McLean is AJ. Alex Gene.
Of course, he has the coolest name.
Alex Gene McLean.
Alex Gene McLean.
Come on.
Yeah,
man.
geez, man.
It's so smooth. So anyway, he like was like, dude, you're welcome to stay here. I just need help from you. My realtor's out of town, so if you can show the house when you're not working and I have an appointment, that'd be great. I was like, anything for you, Mr. Backstreet Boys.
You're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Of course.
Anything for you, I will do it. So that's a very weird start. Are you puking over here?
He just grunted.
Oh, I just heard my dog does that when she's puking. So I'm just
Yeah, my dog is down there. This is insane.
Getting down on the bone.
All right.
Anyway, so that was my very interesting welcome to LA. Was I put myself out there. If I didn't just be like, I'm gonna go make friends, I probably would have sat in that studio with my buddy where he allowed me to stay for 2 weeks and would have done nothing, would have ran out of money. I got out there.
Yeah.
I literally said, I'm going to fucking put on my backpack and I'm going to go walk around LA for like the next 8 hours and I'm going to just meet people. And I got fortunate to meet Casey Brown, and she was like my first friend in LA, and I just met her friends and her friends and her friends. And
your network just grew and grew.
And my network just kind of grew and grew.
Yeah. And I think that's like so important. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize is like, if you just, you meet one person, they introduce you to another person, they introduce you to another person. And I saw you do that when we were doing the band, because I wasn't that guy. I wasn't like I was more like, I'm just going to like grind from behind. I don't like people. I'm just not good with people. That's not my thing. Yeah. But you were like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to meet everybody. And you would just bring these things like, met this guy. He runs 102.7. They're premiering the song tonight. I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, it was just random. But you would do things to like where you were calculated. You were like, I'm gonna go here because I know this guy's gonna be there. And it wasn't like you were using anybody. You were just like, you were calculated. You were like, I'm gonna do these things that I know are gonna position me to succeed.
You have to put yourself there. If you look at any successful person, any successful actor, TV star, businessman, hedge fund guy, they surround themselves with people with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Because you can't get successful hanging out with a bunch of losers.
No,
you can't.
Yeah.
People who have no motivation, people who are just sitting on their ass, that just complain and don't want to get up and grind. If you're around people who grind, you want to, or kind of what I've realized for myself is, I've been surrounding myself with people who are more successful than me, and it makes you want to be that successful. So when you're the low end of the totem pole and around all your friends, you only strive to be greater.
Exactly.
So I'm like, damn, like all my friends are like on TV shows and on the radio and this and that, and I'll ask them for their advice, and like I'll take their advice. They're more successful than me. I'll take their advice. I'll listen. I'll work that much harder. So you got to surround yourself with people who want to be successful, or you're never going to get there.
100%. And you're not just doing like the influencer thing. You have like a company that you like do behind the scenes stuff. You're like writing skits for other influencers. You've like created like a network for yourself that's more even than just like what you do in front of like social media.
Yeah. So I started with my manager, Jack Reed. We started a digital management, production and management company. I'm more on the production side. Jack handles all the talent management. But essentially what we do is we have like 7 employees now, and we handle campaigns from start to finish. So if McDonald's comes by and says, hey, we want 5 influencers to do this campaign for breakfast all day, and they give us the hashtags and the deliverables, then our company will run from A to Z everything: production, campaign management.
You choose who's going to be in it.
We can choose who's going to be in it. Obviously, McDonald's has to kind of have the last say, but we'll suggest who we want to be in it. And so, yeah, dude, like I just realized, you know what? My personal influence might not last forever. I want to start a company because I know that the influencer world's only getting bigger. So I started with my manager. I started Millennial Entertainment. And we're growing. We work with like 110 different influencers.
I just want to say that you amazing. Made an email, Matt at Millennial Entertainment. You made this in like 2005.
Yeah.
I remember this. You're like, I'm going to start a company called Millennial Entertainment. And you were like, randomly, you were like booking DJ gigs for like your friends who were on TV shows.
Yep.
You were pretending to be another guy. Dude, this is how crazy this guy is.
You can't say that, bro. You can't say that.
The hustle's no. Tell the story. The hustle is real.
No fucking joke. He had no money. I specifically remember this. And he made up a company. He made up Millennial Entertainment. And I don't even think it was Matt. It might have been a different name.
It was Matt at Star Promotions LA.
StarPromotionsLA.com. And he was cold calling clubs, like cold emailing clubs. Like, I have this guy who's like C-list, whatever, celebrity.
Yeah.
I can get him to DJ your club, 10 grand. And he was taking a percentage. He had never done this before. He created, it was fake. He invented this thing, but he really had the guy. It wasn't like he was scamming anybody, but it was just, he invented this thing out of thin air because he was like, I could probably make like a few $100.
My first one, when I was like, I have to find a way to make more money. My first one is, I was like, okay, I know this guy who knows Shifty from, what's that band?
Crazy Town.
Come, my lady. Come, my lady.
One of the best bands ever.
Yeah.
Amazing, right? This guy that I knew had direct access to Shifty, and I was like, Shifty could probably use some money.
Had direct access
so I literally,
this guy that you could have probably found at a bar at any time during the day.
So I asked this guy, I was like, what do you think Shifty would show up and DJ at a club for? He's like, I don't know, man. Like
free drinks.
You know, like maybe 5 or 10 grand. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, so if I got a club that was interested in having him there, like, would he do it? He goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd do it. So I took that as a yes. And then, and I immediately opened an account called Matt at Star Promotions LA.
Took your last $10, bought StarPromotionsLA.com.
Yeah, I literally went to GoDaddy, spent my last $10, bought StarPromotionsLA.com, made myself an email, and I don't think it was Matt. I think I gave myself like another name, like
no, I
John,
literally
like,
think it was like John at
John
or some other name.
I was John and a few different guys in the company, right? I had all these different emails. So then I started contacting clubs, and I got a hold of a club in Seattle. And I was like, the guy answered. I was like, hey, is there a manager I can talk to? He's like, this is him. I was like, hey, dude. I was like, this is John from Star Promotions LA. We are currently promoting and working with Shifty from Crazy Town. He'd love to come and do a performance and a DJ set at your venue. He's like, this sounds cool. This sounds cool. He's like, yeah, let me work on a budget and get back to you. How much? I was like, 10 grand. So he's like, all right, let me check. So he called me back like probably 3 days later. He's like, yeah. He goes, hey, listen, sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and let's close this. And and I was like, oh shit. I was like, wait, this is real now. Wow. So he goes, yeah, let's close this. He goes, do you require a deposit? What kind of payment? So I had to just figure this shit out.
Of course, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I was like, let me have my assistant get a hold of you and work out all those details.
Did not have an assistant.
So then of course I make Cindy at StarPromotionsLA.com. And then she follows up to get a deposit. So now I have this deposit, and I have to book Shifty.
Of course.
So I have a 10 grand agreement from this club in Seattle. And
keep in mind, you just have a maybe from his friend. You have not spoken to Shifty. You have a maybe from a guy who had access to Shifty.
I have a maybe from his friend. So I called the friend. I was like, hey, I got this club that wants to book Shifty. Can he do it for 5 grand? Because I had to make some money from this. So he goes, let me ask him. I think Shifty wanted at least $8,000. I closed the deal. I said, okay. Oh, sorry. No, Shifty wanted $8,000. I closed it at $7,000. spent $1,000 on hotel and travel because I had to do all the bookings.
Of course.
And I literally, without meeting Shifty and without meeting this guy in the club, I did this all from the internet, and I put Shifty in a nightclub in Seattle. They did the flyer. He performed. I got the money. I took the $1,000 to reimburse myself for the hotels and shit. Oh, sorry, I used the deposit of $1,000 to pay for hotels and his car and all that kind of shit. And then I took $2,000 and then I gave him $7,000.
I mean, that is amazing. That's like one of the best things I've ever heard in my whole life.
But that's the hustle, man.
That is a hustle.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Wow.
So for instance, like whenever there's people who say I can't do it, I don't know how to make money. There's ways to do it.
So many ways.
There are ways to do it. You have to just do it, and it's not always going to be legal.
Legitimate. I mean, listen, there was a time where I don't, no one's going to see this at Guitar Center. I was buying, Guitar Center had a 30-day, no matter what return policy when I was 20, 21, when we were in the band, and I couldn't have a job really because me and you were doing writing sessions every single day. So like, I think the label were giving me and you like $500 each to like maybe eat food.
Yeah.
So I had no money, and I was like, okay, they have a return policy. This is what I'm going to do. I bought used broken amps on Craigslist, went and bought the new amp, took the broken one, put it in the box, took it back to Guitar Center and said it didn't work and got the money back, and was like doing it that way. And then I had a new amp, sold the new amp. Like I was just doing that. And I
the hustle.
But it wasn't like the crazy thing is not worth the risk because I was getting like $100, but
not worth it.
I was $100 short on rent. I had to figure out how to make $100. You know, it was
you needed to eat and you figured it out.
It's a crazy world out there, man. I don't know.
Now, what's crazy is I always watch like inspirational videos, and it's so true. If someone had a gun to your head and said, you need to come back right now with $5,000, you'll go figure out how to do it.
100%.
Exactly.
If you have an idea for a business that you want to start and it's going to cost $5,000, you can raise that money. You can collect that money. You can start a GoFundMe now. You can figure out some sort of kickback or some sort of charity. You can go and ask your mom for $100, your dad for $100, your aunt for $100. Like, you can do it, but people are just kind of afraid to ask and afraid to do it. But I mean, anything's possible. You just gotta go. You just gotta go get it.
You have to just believe that like you deserve it. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that holds people back. I feel like is they think like, oh, I'm from this small town or whatever that may be. Like I don't deserve this shot, so I'm just kind of gonna like not really go after it.
Yeah.
And like going after it is like the hardest part is making yourself just do it. You find that like getting the things that come to you isn't even as hard as just initially going for it.
I agree, and I mean, I think it comes down to a lot of people don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And that's that's the number one thing. You have, no matter what your situation, you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I did not come from any money. I came from lower middle class. We struggled financially. I had, no real financial help from my parents to do anything, to go to college or do anything else. I just knew that I was going to go figure it out on my own. But I believed in myself so much. I mean, you know how much I believe in myself. It was kind of a little bit too much.
I was reading. I was literally.
I was
reading emails the other day that me and you were writing our managers, who were like, I mean, our manager managed like Pitbull, Daughtry, like he was managing some big people, and me and you were writing him like you were saying things like we had made him millions of dollars. At this point, he was making not $1 off of us, and Matt was writing him emails like, if you don't pick up the phone, we will leave your ass, like all this shit.
We'll leave you in the dust.
But now being in like a successful music position, I'm like, he was probably looking at these emails like, who the fuck are these guys? This guy was like living in Malibu, had like a Lamborghini, and we were just writing him like we were on top of the world. And but you had to do it that way.
It's the mindset. If you put yourself in that mindset, you literally you live that mindset, and you will eventually live it out.
Yeah.
You will.
It's true.
Have to.
Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing story. That's why I wanted to have you on here, because the hustle is so real.
The hustle is real.
But now do you feel, are you still hustling as hard, or have you calmed down, or are you still,
or is the hustle just kind of generated in different?
Well,
are you still waking up? Because I know like we landed from China yesterday night, doing this podcast today, going to get some things at the Grove that we need, and then going to Germany in the morning. Like the hustle, it's still just as hard. It's changed a bit. Like it's a bit more rewarding and fun, but are you still waking up, working your ass off till you go to bed?
Yes. The hustle remains the same. I have learned, because obviously I'm in a relationship and I love my girlfriend. So I've learned to slow down on the weekends and spend time with her, because I don't want to, I don't want to miss those moments. I don't want to be like, damn, like where'd my 30s go? Like hanging out with the love of my life. So I've decided to kind of dedicate weekends to more like hanging out with her. But the Monday through Friday grind is still strong. And if I have to work on the weekends, I do. And like, I think in January, I worked every single day in January, not one day off.
Oh, wow.
So calls, meetings, emails, shooting, editing, because I do it all myself.
Oh, I know. It's great. You shoot and edit the videos.
Yeah.
I'll
write the concepts. I'll shoot
Which most people don't do. Like we have videographers that work for YouTubers and they edit all of their stuff and do everything. You just learned editing software.
Yeah, I learned it. I to be honest, and the reason why I still do it, I tried a few different companies out where I hired them and outsourced people to come shoot my stuff. And my videos just tanked when it was someone else that had the touch on it. Yeah. So I realized I was like, I have what my audience wants to see. I know the comedic timing. I know the framing. So I just kind of still decided to, shoot, direct, and write my own skits. And that's kind of why I remain being successful like in this space. So yeah, I mean, the grind's still real. It's just more rewarding.
Right.
So now I can, shoot.
You're not grinding for negative money.
I'm not grinding for negative money. I'm actually making some money now.
The grind used to be like, okay, I'm going to grind and pay $500 and I will see nothing. I will see nothing from this.
Oh my God. Yeah. We've spent thousands and thousands of dollars for our band, on our band, and saw zero back.
We saw $0. Yeah.
Because if we made $500 that night playing a show, then that money was literally just like some food and paying back our debt.
And we were not a local act. We were a national touring signed band. Yeah. It was insane. It was hilarious.
We had a song that peaked number 4 on Sirius Radio.
It was hilarious.
Kiss FM picked it up in I think 4 or 5 different locations. I remember when we were in Dallas. And we were listening to the regular radio, and no one told us that our song was on proper radio. We thought it was just on Sirius XM. And then we're just kind of cruising. I don't think anyone filmed this, but we had a rental car, and then suddenly it was like the end of a song, and then it's Ryan Seacrest, and he goes, yeah, blah, 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 that was Demi Lovato, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, all right, well, this is a new one. It's It Boys. Guys Don't Like Me. And then we all like looked at each other like, did we hear that right? And then you heard the intro.
And then that was the reward. That was the only reward.
That was the reward. We freaked out and we're like, we are on Kiss FM right now. Ryan Seacrest just said,
we're rich.
It Boys. I was like, we are rich. Let's go pop some bottles. Let's spend this money.
Go to dinner, boys.
I think I got a check for 30 cents last month.
Yes.
For one of our songs.
4 Guys Don't Like Me being on there. I get those checks too.
I got a check for 30 cents. We had a song on the radio and a check for 30 cents showed up. Okay. That's how much money you make unless you become massive.
It's very hard. It's tough. So you and your girl, you guys work on videos together.
Yeah.
Yes. So do you consider that quality time going into like a relationship? Because we're all pretty involved with girls now. You are not engaged yet.
Not engaged yet. That's coming.
Of course it's coming.
But the thing is, I'm a romantic guy. It's got to be planned right. And if I could just pop a ring during dinner, I could do that tomorrow.
I mean, listen, you've known your girl. You did all the steps. You were friends. You were best friends. You dated.
Yes.
You're together. You lived it.
We lived together.
You guys have been building this relationship. I mean, 12 years? You knew her before you knew me.
I've known her now for 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, so we've been building
wait
this.
a little bit for the engagement.
Exactly. I don't want to rush into it. I want it to be special. So that's happening next. But to answer your question, at least for her, shooting is just work. And to be honest, it's become work for me too. That's not quality time.
No, because I always wonder that. I see you guys do the videos, and I'm like, is this all? Like, you know what I mean? Because from an outside perspective, it's like to the world, it's like that's all you guys do. So it's like you guys doing like the emo song in the car. It's like no, that's quality time. That's what you guys do. But I don't know if the rest of the world knows you actually do other stuff.
Well, it started as quality time when we were doing Vines because it was fun, and Vines were 6 seconds.
Right.
So we would show up, or I'd pick her up for coffee. She'd get in the car. We'd grab coffee. Something funny would happen, and we'd reenact it. That's how we started Vine, and that was quality time. Now that we're both so busy with multiple things, and like we have 2 different shows that we both wrote and created that are in the works. One of them, we have a shopping agreement, which means we're going to be shopping to networks next month.
Wow.
So a lot of preparation for that, as you can imagine. My company that I'm still like the business developer behind and the co-founder. So that's a lot of work on my end, writing all these skits for myself, writing all these skits for brands, shooting, editing. She still goes to commercial auditions, pilot auditions. So like we're busy all the time. Like I left here, she's sick right now. She's gonna go to an audition in like Santa Monica,
Oh, man.
and then come back, and then she has to write a concept because she's doing a deal for Svedka vodka.
Nice.
And so like it's always something.
So when you guys are doing a brand deal, let's say like Svedka or McDonald's, whatever, they come to you, let's say, or your manager, whoever, and they're like, we want him on. You then need to like pitch what you would do in the video. Like you need to pitch the concept. They're just like, hey, we just want you to do a video, do whatever.
No, so they have an idea of what the influencer campaign is. So let's just say it's McDonald's. I'll use this example again, and they want to promote having breakfast all day, or they want to promote like the new McMuffin, right? Then they would just say, okay, hey guys, they would reach out to my company, Millennial, and say, hey, we want 5 influencers. We have our eye on Matt, Ariel, Manon, Darius Benson, David Lopez. They'll like list it off.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, we have this amount of money, and we want to do a video on everyone's page and an Instagram story, and it's promoting the new McMuffin. So we have an idea of what the campaign's around, and then we will sometimes help that agency curate the campaign.
So they don't write you like a commercial.
No,
Like,
they
Matt
don't.
will
No.
walk in,
We
you come up with the
We
idea.
all come up with the ideas.
Got it.
So usually a lot of brands, for me, they want, a lot of times they want me and Ariel.
Right.
So they'll say, hey, can you do a video with you and Ariel for breakfast all day? And then I'll write 3 concepts, send in 3 ideas. They'll choose their favorite. And then once it's approved and like they've made some tweaks to like some language or any of the dialogue they want to change, then we're greenlit to shoot it. After we shoot it, they want to see an edit usually within, 48 hours. So I'll get an edit to them, and then
Which is like lightning fast.
Yeah, I
Because
was
it's like
gonna
if you
say,
shoot a
like-
commercial, you're not seeing an edit of that for months. So it's
Yeah.
crazy that like it's 48-hour turnaround.
48 hours is generous too.
That's
I said that
crazy.
because that's the most that they'll give you. Usually it's 24 hours.
They want it right
Usually the
away.
next day they
Because
want.
I don't think they understand that like because they're seeing it. Because I think it
They're seeing it
looks
filmed
easy.
on like an iPhone.
It looks
It's like,
easy,
you did this in
but
5
it's not
minutes,
easy.
but it's like, no,
it's
yeah.
like it's a whole production. But it looks.
yeah.
I think, and that's why I think you're very successful. Is because it doesn't look like you created a commercial. It just literally looks like you're making a funny video.
Yeah.
But I think to the outside perspective, it makes it look like this takes 20 minutes to shoot when it really
Well,
could take all day.
Exactly. Well, think of it this way. So there's the creative calls with McDonald's. Let's just say the first creative call is 30 minutes and the second one's 30 minutes. There's an hour. Then writing the scripts, probably 2 to 3 hours for writing because you're writing 3 different scripts. So let's just say there's 2 hours, there's 3, there's 5 hours already in. Then when you actually shoot, that's probably 2 hours. So that's now 7 hours. After you shoot, editing could be 2 to 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
So these videos take like 10 hours.
Yeah. It's a
like
lot.
all in all, like 10 hours. Some could be quicker, some could be longer, but that's what people don't see. They see my 1-minute video, like the one I posted today, and they just think, oh, Matt and Ariel shot that quickly in their car and it's magically up. And it's like, no, like that situation happened. I went home and wrote it down. I wrote out a script so we can kind of get through as quickly as possible. Then we shot it. Then we edited.
Yeah.
So, the working for brands is a much, longer process than just shooting on our own. But
Right.
regardless, it takes hours.
Yeah.
These videos take hours. So it's hard to constantly put out content.
And you feel it's important. I think looking at your page, it's super apparent that you're not just shooting brand stuff. Like you make sure that you're shooting just your own stuff all
Yeah.
the time as well.
Yes.
It's a
so,
good mix where you don't seem too brandy, and then it's like you're still.
Because I think a
like
lot of
you.
people
It's
just
still,
shoot
it's still
brand
organically
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to David Lopez right now. He's like the brand deal king. He's like the Mexican Matt because we both do so many brand deals. And no joke, the dude, I think that he must be working on other stuff because he's not focusing on personal content, but he gets so many brand deals that I'm going to say 75% of his posts are now brand deals, but his audience got so used to it and he does spend quality time making this content that his fans are okay with it.
Yeah. His brand is brand deals. That's what it is.
His brand is doing brand deals, and it's shocking, but like the dude does. I want to go to his page right now because he does so many. And for one time when I was doing a bunch in 1 month, we were like one-upping each other. Like he would do Bank of America, then I'd do McDonald's, and then he'd do Jack in the Box, and then I would do like Svedka vodka, and like we were going back and forth, and like
I love that.
Yeah, so it's fun. Like we enjoy making these. Let me find him, David Lopez. What was that?
My dog just burped.
Weird noises coming out.
We're looking up David Lopez.
David Lopez.
He's got a name
Boom.
too.
3 posts ago, T-Mobile, right? And then that's a regular one. Then there's T-Mobile again.
Shout out
That's
T-Mobile. We have a deal with T-Mobile too. It's very nice.
Oh, do you really?
We do. It's
Okay,
not, I mean,
hey,
it's not like a brand deal, but it's like a free. We get free everything from T-Mobile. Phones, service, everything's free. 8 tweets a year.
Okay.
It's nice. It's very
that's nice.
Yeah. Matt's like, I could have gotten you $1 million for
He's
that.
like,
Yeah,
wow.
come on, dude.
Free phones, cool. I got a free car.
Yeah, Matt's like, I could have gotten you a bit of cash for that.
You know what's crazy? So the brand Volvo follows me on Instagram. And have you guys seen the new Volvos, like the new SUVs?
Oh, they're amazing.
Or any of their
They're
cars?
incredible. Here's how I saw it. I got my car at Galpin Jaguar. Next door is Galpin Volvo, and they own both. They drove me to my car in the new Volvo, and I was like,
Dude,
am I gonna get the Jag? Like, this thing is nice. Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
do you want to go dad or Jag? Because like the thing is, the Volvos are so sick that I was in New York and I ordered an Uber SUV, and the new XC90 picked me up, and I was like, oh my
It's
God. I was like,
incredible.
this car is incredible. Massive sunroof. It drives so smooth. It's super quick. And the guy said he loved
By the
it.
way, this is the 8th time Matt has brought up a sunroof today. He is obsessed.
I need
This
the
guy
sunroof.
is like, I'm gonna sell my car. I was like, why? He's like, love the car. I just
No
want to pop
sunroof.
the sunroof. By
I
the way, his
need
whole
that.
roof comes off. He just wants a sunroof.
I want the convenience of the flick, and then the roof is gone. So anyway, I actually went and test drove the XC90, and I love it. And then I DM'd Volvo because I knew they followed me, and I was like, would you ever consider working with influencers or someone like myself? And they wrote back and said, hey, we'd love to work with you and Ariel, but you do have to be a Volvo owner. So I'm like, okay, so
You're like,
so
you guys could make me a
I was
Volvo.
like, yeah,
owner.
you guys can do this for me. So I was like, here's the risk. Do I sell my car and buy a more expensive Volvo, hoping that they would actually use me for a campaign?
Interesting.
If it did pay the right amount of money.
Right.
So I love
Like if the campaign paid for the car.
like I don't want to go out and get this car. Like, dude, the SUVs are like 80 grand.
No, I know.
Like
Yeah.
they're expensive. So I don't want to sell my Jeep that's like 45 and then spend 80 grand on a Volvo. And then they're like, cool, $1,500. Go ahead and do this. And I'm like, wait a second.
like, wait,
I just bought this car to do
Oh,
brand deals with
man.
you guys.
So how do you approach? That's actually a good convo. How do you approach a conversation like that? Like, how does it? Do you just go balls to the wall? Like, because you're at the point now where you could if you wanted to. I just don't know. Like, let's say you're like gonna write Volvo back. What do you say?
Well, I kind of did already. I wrote them back and I said, I'm thinking about purchasing this car, and I showed them the car, and I said, what kind of deal could we work out? Like, what kind of post? And she was very honest and said, we can't guarantee anything because we create our campaigns and then we look for influence. Then after the campaign's created, then we go to the drawing board with which influencers own Volvos. So the fact that, pretty much it's a gamble. I have to buy the car, and then I have to hope that their next campaign includes me and the SUV,
Right.
or me and the hatchback that I get.
Oh, that's tough.
So it's but you know I'm a gambler.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
You are a gambler.
So I'm like,
You're like,
It's worth it, man.
he's like, so I've put in an order. The
I put it-
XC90 is getting delivered here right now.
I spent $80,000 cash. Hopefully this will pay off. No, so that's like an example that like I would love to work for them, and I'm hoping we can work something out. But it's not 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a tough
I'm a
one.
little bit nervous about it.
When you started out, did you just make funny content and brands came to you, or you were like, okay, I'm building a platform, because you were right on the cusp of like these like funny video influencers? Were you, because I know you, were you hitting people up like, hey, I have followers, I can do this for you? Or did people start coming to you first? How did it?
So a little bit of both. I didn't know that people would pay me to post a Vine. Let's just say my first post, I think I got to like 80,000 followers before I did my first brand deal, which that's a good amount of followers to do a
And
deal,
your
right?
engagement is like incredible,
Am
because
I-
you have less followers than some people. Like, I know my little brother is very close with like guys who have like 14 million followers, but your engagement is better than theirs. And
Yes.
they have told me, because I bring you up all the time, because it's like I know influencers, man. I know Matt, dude. What do you mean? You're like more successful than them business wise because of the way you handle your business, and your engagement is better. Some of these kids have 14 million followers,
Yeah.
and they're literally telling me that they have to move out of their apartment because they don't have a dollar in
Well,
their name.
the problem is, yes, my engagement might be better, or at least comparative to like the scale of their followers
Yeah.
to engagement, but it's not just engagement. Even though they have 14 million followers, they might not be a brand that brands want to work with.
Right.
They might cuss. They might do super racy content. Like, I don't know what their content is, but like the reason brands do like working with people like me is I have PG-13 content.
Yeah, you're a blank
like,
canvas. They could do anything.
They literally could.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you're
for
very
sure.
versatile, and you're not like, you're not like the bad boy with tattoos, but you could be. It's like we can make him look like that if we really wanted.
Yeah, it's just they like the brand that I've created, which is very positive, uplifting. Like anyone could watch. A lot of parents actually watch my stuff with their kids. Someone just DM'd me yesterday, and their two-year-old boy was literally holding an iPhone, laughing at my emo video, and the dad was laughing with him. So
man.
like a 2-year-old and a dad.
Yeah.
By the way, Mark Hoppus liked your video or commented on your video.
He liked my video, then followed me.
Listen.
Wow.
It was a Blink-182 skit. So that's it. That's all you needed.
I made it.
You're like,
I can die now.
You're like, I'm actually retiring tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is my last thing I'm doing.
You're like, I'm getting the Volvo and retiring in the Volvo.
Your brother tagged him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
So tall tagged Mark and
Tall the connector.
Tall the connector. There's the
My brother
connection.
is the ultimate. My brother is the ultimate connector.
Yeah.
He will never let that
Dude, you
go.
post like a bag of chips and he'll hook you up with the guy that owns
He'll be
Lay's.
like, yo, I know the guy.
Nobody knows most people don't even know Tall is my brother. But my brother Tall should have gone into artist management like 20 years ago because he would have been the ultimate manager.
Huge.
You know a guy who can give me a cactus? Yeah, I know the guy that invented cactus.
I know the guy that invented cactus cooler.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like but that's amazing. The Mark Hoppus. That's incredible.
Mark Hoppus liked it and then followed me, and I'm like, this is it.
Have you seen these emo videos that he makes?
Dude,
it is
hilarious.
It's amazing.
Well, what's great?
The wigs,
thank you.
dude. Just how
it moves.
Yeah.
Okay, this next video, I have a new wig.
Oh, man.
Because I'm doing My Chemical Romance.
I saw you got your hair. You got it fully cut and everything.
I
by Judah.
took the wig into a barbershop to our good friend Judah, and I walk in and I put it on, and the barbershop's packed, 10 chairs, and they're all looking at this dude with like the long black hair.
This is like, by the way, like the most. It's called manly, and it's a very manly.
It's a tattooed manly
beards. Like I fit in there because I got the beard. I had to grow a beard.
You can get
just
a
to
shot
my
of whiskey
there.
when you sit down there.
You get a shot of whiskey
for real.
Like, so no one goes in there with long hair.
So I'm in there getting an emo haircut, like a scene cut, and Judah gave me Judah's old cut.
Yep.
He gave me his exact old cut,
like the short on top, spiky kind of top,
the
long front.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody had that
we
cut.
all had that.
And it looks incredible. But those emo videos, I knew they would be. I knew that people would like them. I wasn't sure how well they were going to do. I don't know if you guys are on Facebook. I'm not on there that much, but I decided to post them to Facebook too. All 3 have gone viral on Facebook.
That is crazy. Which is like really hard to do on
7
Facebook.
million views on the first one.
Wow.
3 million on the second, and then 7 million on the third.
And by the way, like going viral on Facebook is extremely difficult in comparison to other social media.
I've been on Facebook since 2007, and my first viral video was literally the first emo video.
That's insane. Yeah.
So and then finally I have this new audience who discovered me. It is hard to go viral on Facebook. Extremely hard. But the emo characters are doing so well that I decided I'm going to do an actual series.
Have you named? Are you doing different characters, or is it one guy?
It's it's one guy, and
again, to go back, you were making these jokes 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we were like the most pop boy band you could ever be, and like you would be in the RV or the bus, and you'd be like, yeah, like, and you'd be like headbanging to like you were doing this joke already. This isn't like new.
No, this isn't new. This is just me, and now I get to live my truth because millions of people like it and want to see it. And so the log line is. There's this, so Matt is this clean cut guy. It's just like myself, and I'm obsessed with that emo culture because obviously, like when we were in a band, we love that shit. We love the Used and Take It Back Sunday and Under Oath and like all those screamo bands. And so I believe that emo's not dead and that we need to bring emo back.
Yeah.
So what I do is I go full emo, spray paint jeans, black hoodie. I'll start wearing like nail polish and makeup and like the hair.
He's literally just talking about me right now.
Yeah, and this character is gonna attempt to record an emo album. So,
oh wow!
And I've talked to.
Are you gonna do the album?
I've talked to Andrew Goldstein.
He's the best person you could ever do it
Andrew
with.
Goldstein
He was on this podcast. By the
was
way.
he?
Oh, we had him. We had him.
He loves the idea, and he goes, "Dude, I am down." So we are going to make a mockumentary following my character as I make this album.
That's gonna be huge.
And I think people are gonna love it.
If you don't do this, I'm gonna get so mad at you. This is incredible.
Yeah, I'm doing it. And at the very end of, let's just say let's just say season probably 2 or 3, we're going to actually release the album.
Oh,
and when the
God.
So, and then we're going to see.
Are you going to try to have this be on like a Netflix, or are you just running this on your socials? It'll be like a season. How do you coordinate
that's
like a
good
season?
question. How do you
I don't know yet. I know that it's really popular on Facebook. Like it took off on Facebook. So I'm thinking like,
I wonder if it's because Facebook is like the new MySpace, where like these kids that like that are like living, like that's where they're on.
Well, because now they're like in their 30s,
right?
And Facebook is older.
It's older.
Instagram's younger. So I have a much younger audience on Instagram, and they don't know those songs and the characters that I'm doing. But on Facebook, it's literally like, people that are 30, 35, like even older, that are like, oh my God, I love the Used. I love Taking Back Sunday. It's an older audience. So Facebook Watch does shows. Will Smith just got a show on Facebook Watch. Zac Efron and Anna Kendrick just got a show on Facebook Watch. So they're really pushing. And so I'm going to pitch this to Facebook Watch and just say, hey, I want to shoot this mockumentary and I want to break it up into like, 10-minute segments and see if they want to pick it up.
Oh my God. This is going to be incredible.
Yeah. But we're going to actually, we're going to make.
You got to let me and Dave write one song. With you.
I would love that.
We need to come in for a writing session.
I got guitars on the wall. We're ready to go.
Once we get that hit song, can you guys remix it?
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God. Wow. We'll remix it whenever you want. Oh, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
That's
and
incredible.
I mean, it's going to be, and the thing is, especially with like autotune and recorded, I have a pretty decent pop voice. So
pretty
like
decent. You're one of like the best singers I've ever heard in my life. You sound amazing.
It's pretty good recorded. So I'm going to actually have a pretty decent voice and I'm going to go for my best scream.
That's why it's going to be, that's why it's going to be so funny, because it's like, people are going to listen to it.
It's going to be good.
People are going to listen to it like it's funny and be like, it's actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's going to make it even better.
Yeah, we're just hoping that who knows? I think there's clearly a market for it. If these videos are getting 100,000 shares and 7 million views, like there's clearly people who love this and they're all requesting songs. So people are going, do My Chem, do Story of the Year, and they're all requesting these bands.
I mean, you need to start hitting up the bands like, I will do your song.
I know.
And with a link.
I know.
I need X amount. I mean, it's not a horrible thing.
No, it's not.
I know DJs and like singers and stuff are paying some of these like meme accounts to like post funny videos with their songs.
Yeah.
With like swipe ups.
It's the same kind of thing. Is like it's just like a crossover. Everything's crossing over.
But I guess the thing is that you would need to do songs that people know. You can't do like a new band. I probably wouldn't like work really.
No, I have to do popular songs. So what I want to do is, and obviously I don't think that technically I can get paid for these videos for ads because I'm using other people's music.
Right.
So the documentary is going to be free, but I think in exchange I would just get a new following.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
by the way, you could just license the publishing for the songs, and you could do it. You could. It's very easy.
I was going to say,
because we do not covers, but we do like flips of old songs. It's very popular in the dance community now. We did Rhythm as a Dancer.
Yeah.
We got a new singer to cut it, and we just did Rhythm as a Dancer, and it's just Breathe Carolina, Rhythm as a Dancer. It's not like the original person, and all we do is give them a like whatever they wanted on publishing, and then we take our half of the publishing, but we keep the master. It's our song.
But you have to redo it.
Redo it. But yeah, but what I'm saying is these bands and these labels would probably be okay with licensing the master to you because you have such a big following. It's an email away. It's so easy to get it done.
Okay.
Very easy. You just literally go on ASCAP.com, type in the song. It'll tell you who the publisher is. You just email the publishing contact. Or have Brian do it. Brian Shaw do it.
And I just say, hey,
your lawyer's still Brian Shaw.
Brian
right?
Shaw. I still got Brian Shaw.
Lawyer. We'll talk about him in a second. You have him write the publishing company, and 100% guaranteed they would give you the rights to use the song.
So let's just say they give me the rights to use the song. How do they get a kickback? Is it just exposure?
So they get the publishing from BMI. When your song gets the views, BMI monetizes the views. It's some back end system, like how you're getting the 30 cents.
No,
I have no idea where that 30 cents is coming from and how they know.
So even on Facebook,
anywhere,
Facebook, YouTube,
I get money from people playing our songs live. There's a thing in there that's like, this DJ played your song at this festival. Here's 50 cents or whatever. I don't know how they know that that's happening.
Okay,
but there's BMI and ASCAP are like a monetized system that are collecting this money for people. So there's no way that, what do they have to lose in letting you use the song?
Got it.
Really?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's
what's the last check that's Story of the Year? Like, so, I mean, not no disrespect, but it's like, they're not making money from like until the day I die anymore. So if you're like, hey, it's going to get 7 million views. They're like, even if that's $10 for them, it's $10 that they wouldn't have made.
And it's
Who cares?
exposure again.
Yeah,
to be honest, it'll probably get people to recognize that band.
I went and listened
that song
to
will
that
go back up in the charts. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people will buy that song for the couple weeks, whatever the video's big. Like they love that.
I went and listened to the Blink-182 song after you posted it.
Because
It's a real thing.
it
You,
brings
like,
it
think
back.
about
I agree. I did the same thing. Not emo, but I actually shot a video using JoJo's song "Too Little, Too Late."
Oh,
it's
just a little too late. That's so
dude,
good.
so good. She actually commented. I got her comment.
Oh wow.
She goes, ha ha ha, I love you guys. And I used her song, and I was wondering because I've had songs pulled down before on Instagram, only twice. I did a happy birthday video for Ariel, and I use "Go Shorty, It's Your Birthday, We Going to Party." So I used 50 Cent in the club, and it was taken down like 7 months later, like ripped. And I was like, that would suck if I spent money and did this docuseries, and suddenly, because I used My Chemical Romance, it was taken down.
I'm gonna help you.
I need, when I'm ready.
It's one email. It's
great.
Very, very easy,
Okay, good.
especially if you have success. For us, it's super easy because our Rhythm as a Dancer flip, 30 million streams. So when we wanted to do Sweet Dreams, we just literally went to the original label and publisher, and we were like, it has 30 million streams.
Yeah.
Our label has 100 million subscribers on YouTube.
It creates a whole new revenue source for that song for the original artist.
They have nothing to lose.
Years
Got
later,
it.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
That's great.
Very easy. So we'll help you with that. No problem.
Okay, yeah.
We'll just take 67%.
Dude, like
I'll reach out.
for an easy 85%. We're good.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
One thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap this up is you're a health guy.
Yes.
I've been kind of chatting with everybody a little bit because we're super into health. Like we work out, we do this. Because you're so busy, what's the routine? How are you staying healthy, and how important do you think it is for the mental strain for a guy that's working like 24/7?
It's extremely important. And to be honest, people like Mark Wahlberg and The Rock, who are the busiest people on planet Earth. The Rock is probably the busiest person on planet Earth. The guy does multiple movies, multiple shows, appearances. Like he's just a beast. He wakes up at like 4 a.m. and gets his workout in. He has a traveling gym that goes with him.
Oh my
so he has like
a traveling gym.
He literally has I think like a half-size semi that carries his gym.
Oh my
and
God.
And he has his crew unpack it, and he works out wherever
my
he is.
God.
Legit.
Probably very cheap to do that.
But he has a little bit of money to pay for it. But anyway, even the most successful people in the world, you'll notice that probably 95% of them have some form of exercise.
Yes.
It's so important for the mental. If you're someone who's tired and are like, I don't even know if I could work out because I'm going to be more tired, when you get in the rhythm of it, it makes you less tired.
Yeah, it does.
Working out you'll sleep better, you'll wake up earlier, and you'll want to work out again. So it's extremely important for me. Now that I don't live by a gym, I actually just ordered a Bowflex system.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm gonna have like a home gym, but right now I saw your dip bars from when you guys were on tour, and those are awesome. So I have dip bars, I have the perfect push-ups, I have an ab roller.
Matt has been doing the ab roller. He is the one that told me about
Dude,
the ab.
ab roller's lit. The
ab roller's lit.
I remember I
Yeah.
was like, Matt, I'm cutting, 6-pack's coming. What do I do? He goes, ab roller. That's it. Just the ab roller.
Dude. I mean, it's tough at first.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to get used to it because you're on your knees and you're completely rolling out on a wheel, and then you have to use your core to get back. So it's good for your some of your chest, some of your back, your arms. It's just a great workout.
I'm going to use this to segue.
Yeah.
It's a horrible segue, but we talked about it when we started, and I haven't been able to get it there, so I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
We saw a thing. I'm not going to say who it is unless you want to say it. These dudes who aren't working out and are pretty average looking guys.
Yeah.
I need to know because you're around some of these guys, and we said we wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
How are these guys getting these like super celebrity girls? I'm asking you because you might have insight because you're around the celebrity more than we are. We're around mostly bands and DJs. How's it happening? I need to know.
I'm gonna say it's Pete Davidson.
Okay, I didn't want to say it. I don't know if you know him. I don't know.
No, we're gonna use
this guy is crazy.
No, we're gonna use him as an example
Ariana
because
Grande and now who?
Kate Beckinsale.
He went more famous. Ariana Grande is extremely famous, but he went he stepped it up a notch almost.
So essentially, what you're saying is like, and I agree with you. Like it's crazy to see some average or even less than average looking guys.
Who's by the way, he's moderately he's successful, but he's not. I mean, there's guys who are average looking that are like super successful.
Mm-hmm.
He's like pretty successful. He's not a movie star.
I will say I can't necessarily explain how he got Ariana Grande because she is younger, but I do know for at least with Kate Beckinsale, especially older women, they've dated every kind of guy, and it stops being about looks and it's about who can make them laugh.
Yeah,
that's
fair
it.
enough. He
No
is
joke.
hilarious.
I'm going to say 90% of women want someone who can make them laugh. And you'll see these guys with like these 10s and you're like, this guy's like a 5.5 at best. And he's dating a 10. Like, what's going on there? If it's not money, these girls are like, I just want someone that's going to treat me nice and that's going to be nice to me and make me laugh.
And she probably loves like the young energy because she's older. So it's like this young, like crazy, wild energy. Kind of looks like a SoundCloud rapper, has like the thing going on. Like,
I think it's fun and different for her. And she's probably used to dating like these rich, like suit wearing dudes. Yeah. And she's probably just over it. And she wants to have some fun right now. And so she's dating, you know, Pete. So Pete. Big ups, homie.
I mean, huge. The Ariana Grande thing is, I mean, the whole world is like,
yeah, the whole world's a little shocked.
I don't know.
So anyway, my whole theory is that it's funny. Girls like funny. And especially when they've been there, done that with like the Ryan Goslings of the world, they're like, boring. I need less romance and a little bit more, you know, genuine fun.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Dude, that's a great point.
Yeah. I got my last question.
Yeah.
You got to go and you're busy. I need to know because I wonder this about guys, about you mostly.
6 inches.
Yeah. When you
5.9.
gift,
5.9.
I need to know now because when you gift, let's say maybe not your mom or your dad, but when you're gifting, you taking the free stuff and gifting it, or are you going out and buying stuff? What do you?
To be honest, I do not gift the free stuff that I get. Well, actually, no, I do, but I don't wrap. I don't make a presentation. Like if I get some new shoes that I don't,
it's
that I don't
Ariel's
want.
birthday.
Oh no.
You're buying it.
No, I buy it.
Yeah. Because I see you do some stuff with K Jewelers. It's like, is he gonna get the ring for free? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No, I don't get any of that shit for free.
Okay.
So I will do the video with it and then give it back. Sometimes if I do like, I see you have the Roomba.
Love the Roomba.
Love the Roomba. I did a brand deal for Roomba. They let me keep the Roomba.
Okay.
Ariel did a brand deal for Dyson. They let her keep the Dysons, multiple Dysons.
But if it's like, you know, a decent friend's birthday, you're going to go buy something. You're going to be like, I got this fucking extra Dyson.
I don't give birthday gifts.
Okay.
I don't.
It just cuts it down.
I don't give
Are
my
you
friends
gifting
shit.
or are you buying? I don't buy anything.
I don't buy my friends shit. I take them out for dinner and drinks. I appreciate that more than giving something like
the personal time.
Like, so I will always be like, hey, I got you dinner and drinks wherever you want. And like, they can go anywhere they want. If they want like, you know, $150 sushi, that's fine. I would rather do that than to get them something because I don't know. It's just more of like hanging out and quality
It's a cool
time.
memory. It's not just like, oh, I got this random thing. Like he doesn't have time. It's
and
like,
you don't even know if they're going to use it.
Yeah. So that's always my gift. And like for my sister, her birthday was on the 15th.
My birthday's March 26th, by the way, coming up. So
we got some Benihana, some Benihana coming up.
Damn, Benihana's so good.
It is so good. For my sister, I haven't told her this yet, so if she's listening, this is your birthday present.
Hey.
Here you go. I'm gonna offer to fly her and her husband out in the summertime to just spend like a 4-day weekend with us at our place. And so instead of sending her some clothes or a gift card, it's just gonna be like, hey, I know that you can't necessarily spend on travel right now. I'll buy your travel. Come stay with me for free, and we'll see each other. So it's more about quality time.
All right. Well, I mean, you
Matt,
killed the podcast,
thank you, bro.
Cutshall.
You killed it, man.
Yeah, I knew you'd be great at it.
Yeah,
I don't
this is
even know how
fun.
long it was long, but
This
I like
is fun.
it. I like it.
This isn't 35 minutes is not long.
Oh no! I started that at about the 30 to 40 minute mark.
We've been going for like an hour at least.
No, it's been at
we've
least